Well, hello everybody, welcome back to the next episode of the Tenant Farmer. We're coming right on the back of the last one, where you may remember, if you've seen it, there was a little bit of a predicament for us to tackle. So we're going to go and hit that today and try and figure out just what on earth we are going to do, because it's well, it's interesting. It is interesting. Never before have I had to try and figure out what we're going to do to get out a tractor out of a hole like this one before, both figuratively and literally. We found a sinkhole, and to be honest, I'm not quite sure how long that's been there or what in the world's caused that or anything, but anyway, that has happened. That's gone already. The tractor's still in the same place as it was earlier, but we've got a little bit of help enlisted, really. It's about 4 hours later, and we have enlisted the help of our local depot, really, our Massey dealership, because they were on the phone with them, because what I want to do, there looks like, from a bit of closer inspection, there actually looks like there's a bit of damage. Oh, we're not going to get into here with this. We might have to take this off on the side here and try and reverse our way in, I think. Looks like there's a little bit of a damage to the axle, and we can't really tell that until we get everything in. So we'll until we get out the hole there, really, which is going to be the next step. So what we've got here, as we go now, we'll have a look there. What we've got here is a demo Massey. This is a 5S. This is a beautiful new 5S. This is top of the range 5S as well, no less, with a 4121 loader attached to the front of it. Now this is something that the dealer very kindly lent us, so we can put onto the tether, get tedding again, hopefully not find any more holes, and get going with a bit of hay work, really, whilst we put our tractor back onto this low loader and we send her off back to the dealer to have a look through there and figure out just what, if anything, is actually wrong with it. So that is very much going to be the plan. What we're going to do, though, I think, is just get this off here. We've got a chain on the back of it as well, so we can go and try and pull out the 5470 from the hole. We need to take off the tether as well somehow and get that away from the hole first. And we will see. So that's very much going to be the plan there, and then we will likely be able to get this in. But what I think will make a bit more sense is to take off the tractor, which is not ours, off the back of here, and then try and make it all work. I think that's what we can do. So we'll just get this all unhooked, get these down. You can see there is our chain on there as well. That's my chain, which just picked up on the way out. And then, yeah, lovely, lovely, lovely tractor. Like I say, this is pretty much as high a spec as you can get for this 5S. It's an absolute gem of a machine. It really is. As we climb on inside of it. So yeah, lovely, lovely, really advanced cockpit here. Look at all the screens and displays. There's actually one more display you can get on here, I think, but obviously we're not going to need that today. But yeah, we've got everything we need here. And we're going to take this off. We're going to jump on into the field there and see. This has, with the tuning involved as well, it's in the region of about 145 horse. So it's plenty of power to pull this out there. Look at the nice big tires on the back of it as well. So we really shouldn't experience any problems there. But what we do need to do is get this thing off. There you go. Now I'm not sure. We're in A. We've got a dyno box on here. All of my speed is apparently controlled through this joystick on the left. Joystick on the right is purely hydraulics at the moment, although you do have forward reverse shuttle on there as well. So if you are doing a lot of loader work, nice and easy to see where you need to be or what's going on. Now, to be clear, we're not looking at upgrading the tractor at all. We're not looking at anything like that. This was just out of the kindness of the dealership. This is a demo that they have that's not in use anywhere at the moment, and they know that you know, we could do with having that extra tractor there whilst we can. So that's exactly why we've got this one. Get that shut, and we can take this away in. But yeah, really nice machine. Looking forward to giving it a bit of a run through the mill and see how it responds, and you know, see what it looks like. But it's very, very light on the turn here, that's for sure. Oh, as I didn't quite time that one right. There you go. Okay, so we're just going to drag that train over to where we need to be. And yeah, we'll get ourselves sorted out there. See what this looks like really in terms of just how on earth we're going to resolve this. We've got our bale fork on the front here if we need it as well. And then we need to figure out how we're going to pull the header off the trailer, off the back of the tractor, sorry, and then the tractor itself should come out relatively easily. I'm not too concerned about that, to be honest. Okay. This is a 6-speed or a Dyna 6 here, so currently flying through the ranges. We are in the 3rd gear as well, I do believe. So nice, smooth and quiet ride there so far. We'll show you a bit more about this as we go. But yeah, first things first really is just to, well, get this tractor out. And we gotta go all the way up to the top here. If we can, we actually probably, if we can drive the tractor down here, that'd be great. Save us having to get the trailer up here. I haven't quite figured out if that's possible yet. It just looks like there's a bit of bend on the wheels aren't lined at the moment, so we know surely the tracking's out, if not anything else. Quite know what else we'll need to pull out in the time. I don't know, but we'll figure that one out. Best thing we can do right now though is just get ourselves in here. Round we go. Didn't really get much of this tethered out at all, so we do need to get this finished. And there you can see, well, there's a mess of a tractor. This is certainly a first. I've been farming for many years now, and yes, that we'll have to see. But anyway, these things happen. There are drains working through this area. We did get the drainage maps when we took over the land. Not that I could see any problems or any issues with drains running exactly through this spot here. I had a quick look at the maps when we went back home. But yeah, it is still a thing that we need to look into, and then obviously fill up this hole somehow as well. But yeah, there is our tractor anyway. It hasn't gone anywhere. You'll be surprised to hear. Now I wonder, the first thing we need to think about is how we can get the tether off. So that will be a bit of an issue, because it's probably going to get damaged when we try and pull the tractor out, I would say. I wonder if I can hook through there somehow. Might be something we try. And if not, because my chain isn't the longest either, so we're going to have to get it right close here so we can pull this out. So having this on might not be the best thing in the world. So let's see what we can do here. Yeah, lovely looking tractor here, as you can see. There are a few different cabs on this one. The dealer was giving me a bit of a run through of it. As I mentioned there, this has all the specs on it. You can actually get one with a huge panoramic window there, and also a lower profile cab as well, which is quite interesting. But yeah, interesting to see, that's for sure. But yeah, let's all of this is electronic as well. You can step down a few versions and get you know, a few electronic switches for your spool valves, more manual levers there should you want to, up to as many as 4, I do believe. But yeah, this is a very, very comfortable cab to be in there. Everything's kind of here on that armrest as well, all the commonly used equipment. What I do need to do is see if I can actually hook up the hydraulics on the bale grab. This is a surefire way of ruining your bale grab, no doubt about that. And I wonder if we can get that on the back of there. That might be somewhere we can try. Let's see. Well, I think we've got it. I think. Now, the tricky thing is, we need to disconnect it, which is something I've strongly encouraged people not to try and do at home. Looks like the PTO has already been disconnected. It has. I wonder if we can somehow get up and down this way. There you go. That seems less crazy. And there we go. All right, then, folks. I think that is fully on the arms of the loader there now, which is good, I suppose. So what we need to do now is we're going to take these slowly back there. We'll get it back about 50 yards if we can. Lower it down because we'll have to bring the loader in around the side that to attach the chain. So that's the next step. And then yeah, let's see how this goes. All right, let's just do this. Of course, what we want to try and avoid is damaging our very new to us tether. Oh, good heavens, that nearly did it as well. Easy does it, it's on. We're just going to keep ticking ourselves back here ever so slightly. I need to get several tractor lengths behind us here so we can, well, so we can get in actually and then try and tow this tractor out there. But it's certainly working. That was a lot easier than I expected. Ooh. Oh my god, look at that. That couldn't have been much more nervous and nerve-wracking if I had tried. Okay. Well then, we've done it. It is down. The tether's off. Step 1 is done. I don't want to take any further because it was starting to rattle a little bit there, and I hope I haven't damaged any of those tines. So what we'll just try and do now is ease out my forks. Down they come. There they go. Okay, let's get us into a slightly better gear here. And now for the big bit. We've got a chain on the back of this tractor still. Keep driving over it. It's behind us here anyway. So let's just try and get ourselves into a position where this will work. Good lord, this is going to be a challenge. I'm going to lift this up. Okay. Alright, let's see, shall we? Let's get ourselves back here. I just don't want to go too much further than that, to be honest. Okay. Well then, it's done. I had to use all my flexibility there to get across, but we're in, we're attached, and it's not going to come off there. Ideally, I think you'd probably want to use more of a towing strap or a band for this, something that has a bit more flexibility in it. I only have a chain, so we're going to go for it. We're going to take our time, and I hope 145-ish horse on this Massey is going to be sufficient to get this out. If not, then plan B will have to be go and find a neighbour with a bigger tractor, because 145 horse here is about, give or take, what my Massey has as well. Now, unless, of course, I can get the two strapped up together, that might be an option. But let's just see if we can get this out. Like I say, a little bit of damage on the front linkage there, and the tracking seems to be out on the steering, so it shouldn't be, from what I can see at least, shouldn't be anything too severe. Could have been a lot worse there. Could have ripped off the whole front of the axle there, or had been a bit more of a severe angle. Could have really ruined the front end of the grille and the radiator and everything else inside there. So it wasn't that bad. Now, let me just get into the gear that we need. We are in forward there. We're going to slow this down as well. Let's see if I'm in the right gear that I want to be in. We're in... Looks like we're in B there as well. Okay. Alright. We'll just take up this slack on the chain here. Bit by bit, bit by bit. Easy does it. Alright, we're just gonna have to go for, I reckon, that. Just need to get over the top of this. It's coming, it's coming. The chain's kind of reared up the front end, which is not what I wanted to see at all. Oh, we're spinning! Oh, no. Okay. Looks like it wants to come up that way a bit more, so we might try that. I wonder... anything that's got it a little bit worse. Let's try and take it out the way it wants to go out there. That's going to make it any easier to come. Front load it down, get a bit more weight over the front end. Get that left wheel over if we can. Oh, it stopped. I've lost the traction again. I've lost the traction. Oh, the tractor's going sideways. Oh, dearie me. This is not getting any better. It's getting worse, if anything. We're going to try one more thing. And then I think we need a plan B. It's just not liking getting over that edge there. The tractor seems to have anything got in further. That's going to be causing a bit more cosmetic damage, if nothing else. I'm going to try not to take the demo tractor into the hole. That wouldn't go down well. We're going to try and go that way and see, because it's just that edge. It is not, it's not liking it at all. It's almost like we need a second rope on there. We need to come from this from a second angle maybe. But we'll try this one anyway without making too much of a mess. Oh, up goes the front end. I think we're just not quite enough power. I think that's where we're at. Okay, before we go anywhere else, we're going to try one more thing. Oh dear. Oh, we're up to the axles. So to this point, we're going to try one more thing. We've got ourselves around a little bit more of an angle because I just want to try and see if I can pull up this side as opposed to the slightly sharper other side there. So we'll give it a go. And then we'll see what we may well end up doing, as well as actually just swapping out this, walking over to get the bigger Massey to see if we can use that one as well, because right now we might not have the most luck. So anyway, let's get this into gear and let's try it one more time on an angle there. Let's see if it's going to get anything. I think another rope might be a necessity here because it is tight. It's not coming out there. Yeah, we're spinning. All right, so we're going to have to figure out the next step. And maybe it's just bringing on our tractor, which is a little bit heavier there. That might well do it. But this is certainly not on its way. So we'll go and give that one a go. This tractor anyway, what we'll probably do with this whilst it's here, what we'll probably do now we've got that off is just actually put this onto the old tether. And this can carry on with the field work actually when we're done. So yeah, we'll get this one hooked up to the tether anyway there, and then, well, we're going to have to keep trying again with option number 2. I might even call in one of the neighbours with a bigger tractor somewhere as well that come and give us a helping hand, just a bit more muscle, a bit more weight onto the occasion. But a few things have happened anyway, we're getting closer to it. We've got a lovely little demo tractor here to play around with as well, so we'll keep hold of this for a bit longer. The tether seems to be in good nick. The tractor, well, the longer this rescue attempt goes on, then the more that might be in need of a little bit more TLC there, I fear, but it's still in the hole, let's say that much, and we need to get that out as soon as possible. So that's exactly what we're going to do. I'm going to have to walk on over to get the other tractor. We'll give that one a go, and then maybe get someone to come and help us out as well. For now, though, thank you very much for watching. I do hope you have enjoyed. A little bit of a brief update there. We'll bring you more of this tractor. We've got this for a few days, or as long as it takes to get that one back. And you join me in our Massey. This is our 6714, which, unlike the 5470 behind us, is functioning. We finally got that onto the trailer. It was a bit of a hustle. We had to get a John Deere over to help us out, would you believe it? Just to be able to actually get enough power to get it out the hole. We finished heading off this field as well. With any luck there, that might be good to go tomorrow. So we'll see. Taking back the beautiful 5S actually that we still have on as a loan, really. We've got that back at the yard. We're going to use that this evening just to sort a few things out around the yard. And show you a few small little updates that we have there as well. We've got a few new cattle in. The new cattle shed has been used. They're just getting themselves all settled in there now. Not too many. It's not full by any stretch there. We've got another 15 cattle in the yard there today, which is exciting. And we will see. Today we're going to just take this back to our farm, and because the dealer's now shut, let's keep it on the trailer. This low loader belongs to the dealership anyway, so we'll just drop it all off there tomorrow for them. And then see what the damage is really. It shouldn't be nothing really dramatic or crazy there. There's no axles hanging off or anything like that, but there are a few small little issues. Front linkage is damaged, and the tracking is out, at least on the steering. But we'll have to see if there's anything else. But for right now, at least, we've got out of the field. That's the starting point. And we'll see what we can do after this. But yeah, this afternoon we're going to go and feed up the cattle. We're going to have a bit of a play around with the 5S, do a few different jobs with it where we can. Put it to some work, really. It's a beautiful looking machine. And I'm really curious to see how it handles the yard and filling up the diet feeder, things like this. But it should be fantastic. And we'll very much see. But yeah, otherwise, dramatic day is coming to an end there, really. And yeah, we can hopefully get ourselves back onto some kind of track, really, I suppose. Now this is going to be a bit tight getting around here. I'm going to have to do this with a tractor on the back before, as one might imagine. Try and swing round there wider a little bit than expected. Now I wonder. exactly what we have to do. We're not going to get around there in one swing. I will definitely have to come in and adjust these fences at some point just to make them more friendly to the larger trailers, especially as we start coming in and out with a lot more hay. That is not a particularly friendly turn to make. So what we're going to have to do now instead is somehow try and bluff our way out the back here. I think we're actually looking pretty good there for now. Oh, we ever. Alright, so let's get ourselves out of here. And then we will get ourselves back on over to the yard, hopefully nice and quickly without any more errors or problems. And then we'll have a look at the 5S. Oh, look at that. I have to go forward though, that trailer's pretty much in the hedge. We are out. Perfect. Our oilseed rape is looking pretty good. Not looking too bad in there. As is the table that's grown the most actually recently is the wild bird feed cover. That has shot up again. So that's really interesting to see that one coming along. We're going to keep that plot in that location for a while. Next few years at the very least. So it's looking good. But everything's growing along nicely. Good bit of sun, nice bit of warmth as well, which is really starting to see the crops coming through well. We'll be doing a bit of a crop inspection in the next week or so just to make sure it's all nothing untoward is occurring. And yeah, then we're in the final straight really. We should start to see a few of the fields turn a little bit of a goldeny color soon. And then yeah, we'll be ripening up nicely in the next where are we now? Probably next 8 weeks time I'll say we'll be going. But yeah, we're just going to swing this into our yard for now and just leave a bee on here. And then yeah, we'll take it off first thing in the morning when they do open at 7. And then we're good to get on with the baling. Might well stick the 5S onto the baler as well, just to see. You know, it'll certainly do something, but might as well get it put to work on as many different tasks as possible. And there we go, we're through that one. Handy. So yeah, I hope everything's going well with yourself. Do let me know what you're getting up to down below. How things are working out, what you're working on at the moment there. Like I say, we've just picked up about 15 new head of cattle. They are about 18 months old. So nice and young, lots of potential for them. Good, coming from a good breeder, good pedigree in them as well. So we'll just leave this here. But yeah, I will have to come back to that in the morning and see what we're looking like there. We need to go to drop off some produce from the greenhouses as well. They've actually been ticking along very nicely behind the scenes. Very, very pleasing to see that one come to fruition. But we're looking not too bad here at all. We do need to feed everything up here like I mentioned. The cattle are looking good. And they're also just tucked away over here. And so they're in, they're looking happy. Very pleased to see that as well. There's 15 in there like I mentioned. And they've got their new homes all set up and ready for them. So very, very good to see. A few little small things on the snagging list to finish off with this build, but it's not too bad. And you know, it's just gonna be nice to we'll get to that in time. Is all it is really. Obviously there's a few other priorities on the cards at the moment there, but we will get to that. Now what we're gonna do is get ourselves a bit of feeder action going here. So we need the feed. One of the next jobs that we've always been thinking about as well, as I've mentioned here on a few occasions, is getting this road set up. I'm just still trying to figure out A, how much it's going to cost, and B, which way I want to go about this. And the idea being really is that we can give ourselves a nice easy loop to drive through. So I don't know if that will involve us shifting an awful lot of dirt and earth from here and having the loop just go straight up into there, and then you can come around that way, or what that's going to look like. But we'll have to figure that out, and it'll have to be a bit more of a sweep and bend around here so you can actually get up from that corner as well. But we'll get something into place there. It's going to be a slower project, something we might look into doing over the winter maybe. But yeah, a project nonetheless. Right now though, like I say, all we need to do let's get this turned around. Because as you see, the problem we start to run into is that turn spaces is a bit of a premium around here. And it would be nice if we just had a little more room that we could function in. What we'll probably end up doing here, I think, is just opening this door up, this gate up here. Because this space otherwise isn't really doing much. Haven't really got anything planned too extravagant for this either, but it would be nice to make use of it some way, and if that is even just making our daily operations that little bit more efficient, then I'm cool with that. That would work. Beef cattle, by the way, are really coming along nicely. They're adding a lot of size, which is great to see. There you go. And alright, well, we're going to use the 5S, like I said, to get this all loaded up. And then I'm very curious to see how this, how the 5S deals with everything around the yard here. But this is going to be the first time we're feeding up here as well, so that's going to be fun. And let's see what this journey looks like, shall we? But first of all, it's time to fill the wagon. And one thing I will say about this tractor is the number of screens in here for a Stockman tractor is obscene. This is definitely more speculative towards anyone who is working on the arable side of things. This model does have the front linkage on there as well. Again, not something that we'd really be looking to use, but it is an option. You certainly could get away with using it there. As a loader tractor though, it is pretty impressive. Lovely visibility throughout, really, I have to say. Now we're just going to try and starve this bale here. One of our newer bales of hay, it must be said. But yeah, it's a very nice machine. Visibility all the way around is perfect. Having everything from what I've played around with so far on these two joysticks is just brilliant, really. Very nice and easy to use. You click up through the ranges where you need to, down through the ranges, forward, backward, shuttlers on there. You can obviously always use it in the original place, but not having to move around is just a brilliant addition, I must say. Yeah, it is. I think this is quite expensive in the spec that we have here. From what the dealer was telling me, if you were to pick this up there, it is quite an expensive piece of equipment. Alright, there's a bale of hay in. We'll go and get ourselves a bale of silage. We're going to try and use some of that stock from over there. Don't crash into the wall there, David. Whatever you do. Just so we can clear a little bit more space up here, I think that'll be a good move. And just try and take some of the, I think, the white bales are the slightly older ones. Yeah, it's a well-balanced tractor, even with the loader on the front, weight on the front there as well. There's no rear weight on the 3-point linkage because we just took the tether off here. But this is a very nicely well-balanced tractor. The steering's very light, even when you've got a bale on the front end here. I do like that a lot. Oh lord, that just tipped the balance a little bit out of my favor there. That was a slightly nervous moment. Let's just get this unwrapped anyway, and okie dokie then. So whilst that bale's mixing in there nicely, we'll get a few other bits and pieces, get a bit of straw to go in there as well. We've got the last little bit of mineral feed that we're using at the moment. We'll stick that in, and we'll just let this wagon turn over for a little bit of mix up there. But it's starting to come together, and then we'll get everything fed up. Alright, so it is feeding time. Oh, is this taking along here nicely? It's loud old noise, but it's doing its job anyway. We'll stick a bit down here. We're going to go around the other side there and get them all fed up as well. Yeah, cattle are always pleased to see that getting topped up. And yeah, what we'll likely do, I think, is just knock this off About here. And then we'll just go a bit further out here, swing it around, and then, yeah, let's go and do the inaugural feeding on the other side. They haven't got any straw in there at the moment. We'll get something put into there this evening for them, just so they can have a bit more of a comfortable bed to sleep on this evening. And then, yeah, they will be very happy indeed. First, I'm going over most of this concrete here as well. But around the corner we come here, nice and easy to get around there, plenty of space to get around as well there, which is always good. Let's fire that back up again. Back to the beginning. And away we go on this side too. Perfect. It's all coming up Millhouse here this evening. Oh, this is perfect, nice and easy, and this is where a track straight up there would be ideal. We'll just give these guys a little bit more in here as well, because I've had a bit of a stressful day moving around, so we'll give them plenty to get going with. All right. And then this is why we've got this huge big pad here, so we've got plenty of room to swing on out. Like I say, having a track up here would be perfect, but as an inaugural usage of the new shed, I don't think that turned out all too badly at all. And the idea being as well that in theory, you can then just swing straight back in on there online as well. So we'll be all perfectly set for that, because they're clearing on it pretty quickly. We'll probably give them a little bit more as well at some point soon. But otherwise, not a bad little first run there. It's going to be later on in the evening. We're about to start losing that sun, I think, as it goes down. But that's a good start to the new cattle shed there for sure. Only 15 cows in there, plenty more to come back in from further afield. And we'll slowly have this little enterprise kicking along very nicely indeed. Welcome back to the Tenant Farmer, and welcome back to June. Can you believe it or not? We are flying through the year, and we're also flying through the progression on the farm, really. So we're going to have a bit of a drive through today, check in on everything and give you a bit of an update farm-wide, really, to show you where we are, the state of the union, really, if you would like. And there's lots to kind of catch up on, really. Starting over there, over the very far wall there, are our pigs, and they're doing very well indeed. They are thriving there. We've got 50 piglets there on top of the, what are we looking at, just under 100 pigs. So they're coming along very nicely indeed. Really, really happy with that. This field that we reseeded as well, it's not looking too bad at all. Hopefully we're going to cut the hay off that at some point. The other grassland around here as well is coming along quite nicely, and these bales, these are the ones we're still ticking through, using these ones first because we have some more over there. And what I think we'll do, depending upon how much we get through here in the next, I don't know, month or so, because we are still supplementing the diet, especially for the milkers, is we'll start to stack a few more in here too. We might make a few headlands of silage bales actually when we get around to it. Our beef cattle though, these are the ones that really need a bit of supplementing as well with minerals and also a bit of silage day to day. They are looking rather good, putting on a bit of weight, bit of size, finishing up nicely, which is what you want to see. So I'm happy with that, really happy with that in fact. And yeah, we're going to actually go through that way eventually, so let's have a bit of a peek through here first. Otherwise on the farm, we're going to shut this gate. Now the 5470 is not back with us yet. It's only a few days away. I think they're just waiting for a couple more parts on the steering to come back in, and then that will all be done. Front linkage is all being tidied up again. But yeah, we're getting really used to having the double barn here now. It's working quite nicely indeed, and the cattle are getting settled in very well too. So they're really, really happy, and yeah, it's making it a lot easier to feed everything up here. So you'll see it's looking rather good. Cattle are happy, like I say, they're being fed up nicely. The 5S has gone back. We only had it for a few days, so that had to go back. But it was a fantastic tractor. Really, really impressive to see where everything's gone. Oh, we've just finished this. And yeah, balers and everything else are looking good on standby, ready to proceed, really. I'm hoping that we can get a few more bays of round bales of hay into here. If we can get up to this bay here, that would be great. So a few more bales there wouldn't go amiss just to get us through. Silage bales I think we're good for. We do have a few more, quite a lot more stacked around the corner, and we've got a lot of ground to cut again for a second time. So we will make sure that we capitalize on that, and we'll make sure that we're able to get a sufficient amount in before we start like to sell anything off, that's for sure. But right now, let's just jump on into our landy. We're going to go for a bit of a drive through the fields, and we're going to see what we can find, really. Now, let's just take ourselves back. So things have been growing nicely. We're still in need of a little bit more rain again. You'll see as we come into one of our fields. Now, this is the field where the contractor run with the dribble bar for slurry. And whilst there's a few bits of grass that we missed there, the slurry itself is actually disappearing quite nicely now, but we are starting to see the grass has got a little greener, but it's not growing much. So hopefully we'll see that really kick on over the next few weeks. I would like to give it another month and then get a cut off it there in early July if we can, which would maybe, depending on conditions and quality, allow us a little bit more time to get a third cut off there if we want to. But for right now, we'd just love to see a bit of progression. As we come down through our forest track here, we're going to hang a sharp left. Look at our winter drilled OSR. Look at this for a field. Very, very pleased with this indeed. It's coming through very nicely there. The conditions in this field are good. We had an agronomist out recently just to take some samples and have a bit of a crop walk, and they were very happy with this as well. In this corner here where we squared off, you'll see this is our wild bird feed plot really, and our game crop. A mixture of all sorts in here, but sunflowers are the predominant crop in there. The weeds are creeping through here as well. I don't really care about this bit, to be honest. It's just going to get worked in again, and another similar crop put in the fall. So that's fine with me. We can leave that. But the oilseed rape is looking good. It's flowering out nicely now as well. Good thick crops. Didn't get too much in terms of pigeon strike or anything like that. So ultimately, very, very happy with it indeed. So we'll look to see this continue. Now, this is one of the better fields, I would say. We're going to have to just try and sneak around this corner here. There you go. I need to get the chainsaw out down here at some point. I don't really want to damage my truck too much. And also when we come to combine this as well. Combine's going to be right in the way there. Anyway, let's stop ourselves. Now we're going to go on a bit of a circle around here. Because there's a few different fields that I want to show you and update you on. There's a few red flags that were brought to my attention, which are almost a little bit late for us now, and it's not the end of the world given what the plan is there. But ideally there is more that we could do. However, as we go for a bit of a drive, we're going to go up to the fields at the top here, which were drilled with the winter barley, and we'll have a bit of a look into those first. We have spring oats in the far ground there, which are doing quite well. The grassland here again is another field that we could just do with a few more drops of rain, in all honesty, there to get it going. And the stuff on the left here, well, that's not far off being baled. So you can see we've still got our square bales all stacked up there. I'm very, very pleased with the return that we got from this field, actually. Not too much put down on here in terms of input, so we're looking good there. We have a lot of muck in the cattle sheds that we need to bring up here at some stage soon to be able to spread onto here. But yeah, that is going to be a plan coming up very soon. First big plan though is the fact that in the middle of that field there's a sinkhole. We need to figure that out and see what we're going to do with that. So that's going to be a plan for another day indeed. But with that being said, spring oats there, they're not looking too bad. They are, however, I'm quite surprised they've grown this far as they have, because they are in need of some nitrogen in here. Phosphorus and phosphates are okay, could be better. But I'm amazed it's got to this height in all honesty there. We're trying to start to grow all of our new crops from a more organic approach. So we didn't put any man-made fertilizers onto this ground at all, which when we do the soil test there is very evident, because some of it is really, really lacking. Now we do have muck here that we're going to spread onto here once it's harvested. To be honest, because of the time that we actually acquired this ground, there wasn't much else that we could do, but put a bit of a break crop in there really. And we went with oats, so that should give us a good sort of starting point there. We'll probably get some barley in, or maybe a first wheat in there when we come to harvesting or drilling this in the fall there. But we'll see. There are a few plans in place with that, and the foot with that with my nephew, who's getting his own little business going. So if we can capitalize on that, then of course we will. But you know, we'll have to see. We'll have to see on that side of things. But I'm not too concerned about that side of the field, at least. And this is all part of the growing pains I find when you come to look at organics and trying to make that transition across. And the same can very much be said for our two fields here. Now, we're going to just stop and get out here for a bit. These are our two biggest fields. We've got barley in both of them, as you can see. Now, on the far side of this field, down the end of those tram lines there, you're going to have a grass field as well. But across these two fields, you're looking at around about 40-ish acres all in, maybe a bit more. And there is a real deficiency in lime, and the pH level in here is way too low. Ideally, you wanted to get it up to about 6.5, 7. We're currently sitting around the 2, which is not good at all. So what we need to try and do, far too acidic. We need to try and bring that back up there, and we will be looking to do so with a bit of lime in the, again, can't really do it now, but will be once we've got this field cleared. So it's going to take a bit of a hit there. We're going to see some of there's a few diseases on here that we can't quite keep on top of there, and the quality of the grain is not where it should be from what we can see already, but it is starting to just turn a little bit yellow there, which is good. And it's had a good amount of rain when it needed to, so it's a good tall standing crop. As I've mentioned frequently, we often look into one of the primary reasons for growing our cereal crops is for the straw for our cattle. So which then, as an organic farmer, is then going to provide us with the muck that we can put back on into this at a later time. So if we have that now, you know, that sets us up. That could do us a good job. Unfortunately, this field and the field down the way are in a similar boat. This field is by far the worst. I think the field over the hedge there is around about the pH level around about 3.5 or 4. So it's about 1.6, 1.7% better. Or 1.6 or 1.7 points better, but it's still not ideal. So we do need to look into that when we can. But it's an interesting issue and an interesting challenge that we're going to have to fight along the way. But yeah. That is the biggest issue, and again, these are all learning curves that we take as we're trying to figure out what it looks like for us to be in, you know, an organic farm, or transitioning into an organic farm there. So it's a learning process that we're taking along the way there for sure. But otherwise, very, very happy indeed with how these are coming through. Really, you know, we drilled these in good timing. We got them cleared in good timing there, so I think it should come through. As long as we don't get hit too badly for that lime deficiency in there, we should be okay. But we'll have to see how it goes. From the grassland perspective there, we just need rain. In all honesty, we just need as much rain as the heavens will give us, and even then, I'm not sure at the moment that'll be enough. The one problem we'll have soon, because of the weight of the crop there and the height of the crop, if we get too much rain soon, it's going to bend the crop over, and then we're in for a different type of pain. So it's going to be a challenge to see how this all falls and see, well, just see how it all comes together. But we'll have to see. We'll have to cross that bridge. Now, the next thing on my list to do really is a giant hot sinkhole that we have in the hayfield. Obviously, you're aware of how and when that happened, if you've been keeping tabs on things recently. So we need to figure out what that's going to look like to get that repaired. Now, we do have an awful lot of gravel in the pasture next to the yard, which I think we're going to just stick into that, and hopefully that will be enough. And if there's a body of water run through it, then gravel will be perfect for it, really. Just going to have to figure out if I can get a load or something, or a contractor that can lift that. Because if it's just me doing it, and I'm only down to one tractor to do it at the moment, it's going to take me an awful long time. So we'll have to see. And we'll have to see indeed. But otherwise, yeah, this is all coming through very, very well indeed. We've also got the gardens are doing well. A lot of produce being made there, which I'm really pleased to see. Just took another load away this morning there, and it is really supplementing the income and allowing us those opportunities to, to diversify in other areas by just bringing in that bit of consistent income there, which is huge, really, as any farmer will tell you. Just feel like a constant update to the bank balance, and not in a negative way. So I'm really happy with that as well. Hoping to get some pigs out of here, but in the early fall. That'll be a great time if we can get some away then. With the beef cattle there, we're going to try and do something a bit different there and look into our own like beef packs, beef boxes as well. But yeah, otherwise it's coming together. You can see the pigs looking, there's some really big girls in there looking fantastic. They really are. Looking forward to see how that all comes through. But otherwise, You know, I'm happy with how the farm's coming together. It is early June right now, as I say, so a bit of rain just to help the hay ground on the way with. I don't think we'll be cutting any more hay down until about July at the earliest there, so we've got a good 4-week period. So right now I'm just kind of pottering on with a few things there, doing a bit of servicing up with machinery where we can, to be honest there, getting on top of all of that, because we all know that can be a bit of a timely thing to do. And well, before you know it, the combine's gonna have to come out, and then we'll be all systems go again. So yeah, that is good. Certainly not looking to buy anything new, any new equipment anytime soon, because oh, God knows I've got enough of that. And everything we've got is working well for us at the moment there, so no desires as far as that is concerned. And yeah, back around to the silage fields here, which are probably going to be the first fields to go. Actually, which would make sense because this was the first field that we cut in the spring there. So that one looks very much ready to go. And then the sheep pasture here, or what was the sheep pasture, would be the next one up. And we'll have to see. But that one is not quite there. Not far off, mind, but it's not quite there. And over we go. So yeah, that will be the next up there too. And I think it's coming together. It's looking very good. Nice. It's thick. It's not very tall at the moment, but it is a thick crop on the deck here. So you never know. Hopefully we'll see a bit more growth there coming up soon, and we'll be able to jump forward with it. The cattle shed doesn't look too bad. The new one from here, it's settled in quite nicely, and that wood will weather over time and lose some of its sharpness, and it'll start to blend right on in. But the extra capacity that's going to give us there is huge. We're looking for quotes and things around what we're going to do with the to get the road up from the dairy head up to the beef head, and figure that out there. Just figure out the best way to put that in, because I might also look at putting a midden in for a bit more box muck there as well. How have I done that? Wonderful. But yeah, that'll be the next up on the list as well. So really, it's all go, but it's all a little bit quiet at the moment as we're in a bit of a holding pattern, I would suggest it's very fair to say. Oh, hello doggo. And yeah, we'll be good. The stone here on the right, that's the stone we're going to try and get into that sinkhole. Hopefully fill that all up and get that way. I've got no use for it. I put a bit in gateways here and there, but nothing huge at all. So otherwise we're all looking good. And like I say, the next big thing really is to get some muck out. I might get a contractor in to come and do that. I don't have a muck spreader of my own anyway, and for speed, might just be something that we look to get a contractor in just to give us a helping hand there as well. So we'll see how it goes, and we'll see what that looks like as and when the time comes. But for right now, well, we're looking pretty much set. And today you join me whilst we are clearing up the last of the bales from our field. We've got a lot to do in this field at the moment. First of all, we need to clear the bales so we can actually get them with some machines. Then we're going to fill that sinkhole, because that's not an ideal thing to have lying around here. And then after that, we're going to look to get a bit of muck spread into here, and also maybe run the sword lifter through it as well, just to see. There's a few areas I want to see if we can improve a little bit. So lots to happen, but before we can do any of that, like I say, we need to get this all cleared up, and we've made a good start on that front. So we'll just pick this lot up here. There you go. There's only 2 more trips to do, and then we're looking good now. Yeah, we've got some stone back at the yard from various different other projects that we're going to use to fill, or hopefully completely fill up that sinkhole. But we'll have to see how we get on with that one. And yeah, so far it hasn't taken us too long to clear this. When we do come in with a sword lifter here, I want to spend a bit of time really around this gateway and run down the strip. You'll see where the grass hasn't quite grown back quite so strongly, and I think that's compaction related there. It certainly hasn't helped with us coming back through this gateway again a lot whilst we stack these bales. So that's certainly something that we're gonna have to look into, make sure that we can address as well. Now where's that gate gone? It's there. What we're also going to do here is just stick this the bales in the back here off on the side, and then we can pick these back up when we're ready. There you go. Not taking us too long to clear all this with the front loader and the bale spike there. Probably saves a little bit of time of having to come back in and hook the trailer on and all that good stuff. But yeah, as you can see, bays are filling up nicely now, and we're in a good place. Happy with the quantity that we've got so far. Even happier that the fact that it's in and it is dry. That's always a key concern. As far as making small bale hay for the equestrian industry, for example, the quality is really something that will get looked into there. So we're looking good, and I'm happy about that. So we'll see how we get on. Just want to start these ones here. There you go. And then yeah, otherwise everything else is looking okay. We haven't got anything else on the deck at the moment. We haven't mowed anything else yet. There's some of the very early stuff that we cut won't be too far away. Not quite there yet, but you know, it is in a position where we could maybe look into that relatively soon. But we'll see. No, this one's going to be a bit of a pain just to stick this into here. Around the pillars of the shed. Okay. That's it. We'll give that a bit of a nudge up from a different direction, I think, later on. And then, yeah, so I think really with one more cut across some of our fields, we'll fill this that shed up pretty easily, I would imagine now, actually. So that's going to be great. Really will allow us to push on and, yeah, bring in some extra revenue throughout the winter months there, which should be fantastic to see for the farm. Now, like I said, there's 2 more left here, so we'll spike these ones on the back. Because of the way I've got this set up here, I am having to angle down the spikes just so we can actually gather them properly, but it's working okay. Nice and easy actually just to get this done. Dustin primarily will use this setup for round baled hay, but it's working. It is working. And then yeah, like I say, we're going to try, I'm looking, I think, just for speed at some point to get some contractors in to come and help with the spreading of muck from the beef cattle. I want to get that taken care of, so we'll have to see about that. There we go. Because a few of these fields really need a little bit of help now that we're in a position that we can get going. Now it's been all mown off there, and we've got the first crop off here, which could have been worse, but we did get slower on here when it was early spring, just to give it a good chance to really crack on there. So that was a huge help. But as you can see, there's a lot of tracks in here. All things that we can really look into, just lifting through with a sward lifter, and of course we had to bring a lot of extra stuff in to try and get the tractor out of the sinkhole there, which we managed. And up we go, down we go. Oh, losing the belt. So yeah, we'll get these ones all stacked up here, and then we're going to head back on over to the yard, have a look at what's going on over there. We've got a return of a good friend over there, and we will see what's next up for the day, so we'll see you very soon. Alright, so in this shed here at the moment there, we've got around about 70, I'd say probably 75 bales, give or take, of which each bale has 14 smaller bales inside of it, so it's not looking bad for a starting point. Like I say, we're always looking to get at least one more cut across most of our grassland. Let me just make sure that, yeah, that looks okay. So, plenty more bales to come. And then yeah, we'll get an option there. We've got a few people lined up there for distribution, and also just buyers coming forward, which is good. So we'll keep on the lookout for more of those where we can, and hopefully we'll be yeah, we'll have a good customer base building up over the time there, because that's what's important here. But yeah, this land needs a little bit of attention, and we'll get there. We'll get it all set up right. It's gonna take a little bit of time. World wasn't built in a day after all there, and we'll start to reap the rewards from that. This field on our left here, this was one of the first that we actually baled, so that and the meadow field are clearly up next for cutting. I just need to decide what we're going to do with those, if it's going to be hay. The meadow field looks like it's going to be better quality for hay, and then we might make that the field we've just gone past into a bit more grass silage as well, and maybe do half grass, half hay, but we'll see. Around we go. We need to do a bit of work on these fences at some point, I think, just to make it a bit more accessible for a trailer. And away we go back up to the yard. Beautiful day here. It is mid-June. Everything's coming along very nicely. Beautiful dry weather at the moment, which is good. Still in need of a little bit of rain just to help things finish off on our cereal crops at least. But you know, I think we're due a little bit soon, so hopefully that will be sufficient. And we can get ourselves ready to go. Like I say, next job up for us today is sinkholes, and we need to see what that looks like for us to be able to get that all taken care of. So that's going to be a mission upon itself there, really. I'm hoping that the stone that we've got from when we were clearing out the new yard area, I hope that's going to be enough. Certainly we'll fill that up there anyway, and we can see. Watch out, doggo. And what we'll do is just swing on in there and have a look anyway. And then we have our 5470 back. The Massey has made a return and it's looking good for it as well. Main things that we have to look into with this tractor, we're gonna have to move it now actually. There was a few bits of small damage around the front linkage there, but it was really the front end that took a lot of the pounding. There was a few things that we had to adjust on there, and then it knocked the tracking out as well. So we got that all done, but yeah, it's looking good. I'm amazed that we didn't do too much more damage to the bodywork on the front end here as well, but I think had we not have had the front linkage on, we may well have seen that occur. So yeah, looking okay for that. Now I need to get into here. We need to get this bucket. We're loading up that stone there, so let's move this away. And yeah, let's see. In second we go. Yeah, nice to have the second tractor back here as well. The 5S was a delight to have for a little bit there. Really was a nice tractor, but yeah, I want our own tractor back here. Let's leave you there for now. Now, I tried to get a hold of a friend of mine's dump trailer. He's using it at the moment, so we're going to have to use that grain trailer. We'll just go steady with it, really, and hopefully not cause any damage. But yeah, we are going to be loading stone in there, so don't want to rattle it around too much. But anyway, we'll just drop off the 3-point bale mount on the back, and then also swap our loader around. And then this tractor eventually is going to go into the sward lifter there as well, like I said, just to go and tackle those a few areas of interest. There we are. And yeah, so at the moment there, as the cattle are happy in keeping in the shade these days, actually, because the sun's getting quite intense on some of the afternoon heat. We still do have a bit of box muck that we want to shift from both of these, so I need to start looking into that and seeing how we're going to make that work. And I've got a few ideas coming along for getting this concrete ramp in place here as well. So these are all the things that we'll be looking to tackle sooner rather than later. Yard's not quite finished there. It's in a much better place than it was, of course. But yeah, we'll have to see where that goes. But for right now, at least, we'll just keep ticking along, see where we can get up to. And let's get some stone in this tractor so we can hopefully fill this sinkhole in. And yes, that's the end of a rather painful chapter to have to have gone through whilst making hay, but sometimes these things happen. Hello, sir. Do you like my trailer? It's a beaut, isn't it? Okay, through we go. Happy days. Yeah, this stone was all just kind of dug out the hillside. It's quite shaly on this hillside here, and I think they just filtered it through when we had our with the bucket on there. We're just able to filter it all out there and grade it all out with a riddle bucket, and we're looking good. Ooh, this is a heavy load. Good lord. All right, we're gonna need to go and find that rear weight first. So we have our weight on the back there, but my word, are we still a bit front end heavy. So we're just gonna have to take this carefully here, and easy does it. We'll slowly get everything lifted up. Away we go. Ooh, we've got a problem. We've got a problem. Remember when I said we'll go slowly? Anyway, so that's the first one done at least. This is a 1.5 ton weight block on the back of this tractor. Tractor itself is probably around about 6.5 tons. It's not the biggest in the world, but good lord, yeah, it just does not like lifting the stone, that's for sure. But yeah, we'll take our time. We'll get this loaded up here, and we can get this into this problematic sinkhole of ours, and hopefully, well, we'll have to take it careful. I might have to just tip it on the side of the sinkhole there and get down, and then we can gradually and slowly move everything into where it needs to go. So that's what our next step will be. Perfect. Oh wow, where'd you come from, sir? Everyone likes my trailer today. Hope everything is going well wherever you are, and whatever you're getting up to, as always, do let us know. Would love to hear. And then yeah, let us know if you're working in the neighborhood, or if you'd like to see anything else from the farm here as well. Within the confines of what we do. Excuse me, sir, you're gonna have to move. I'll be really interested to know. I'm gonna have a chat with this gentleman to see why they're not moving. We'll get the rest of this trailer loaded up, and then we will take you down to the field and hopefully see if we can get this tipped in. Alright, and so Random Strange Man has been dealt with, and we can slowly take our way down to the field. We're going to take a not full load here because there's a lot of weight stone in that trailer, so we'll take our time, about 3/4 full, and then yeah, we'll just, if we need to do more loads, then we'll do exactly that. But for right now, at least, easy does it, we'll just take our time. Like I say, hopefully this will fill all over there. Will we be bothering with reseeding this patch? It's unlikely, but we'll, you know, we'll see what it looks like when it's all filled in. The main thing is that we get that hole filled in so nothing else happens there in the future, and hopefully that's the only one that will appear in this area as well, because that was less than ideal. But yeah, you never know, strange things happen, as we can well attest to there, and we'll just have to keep an eye on them. But for now, at least, this is the last little job that we'll do here until the contractors come in, and then we'll get the sword lifting done after that. I'm not going to do that before they arrive, if only for the fact that it's going to undo any of the compaction that we remove, because they're going to be running over everything with slightly bigger tractors, I would assume. So we need to figure out when that's going to be and what that looks like. It's great to see our OC rape now flowering, looking well. It won't be long to have to get the combine out and start to think about servicing that over either. So we'll see what that looks like in probably next few weeks, actually. Now, in we come. Loop it around this side as well. Perfect. Now the only frustration with this field is that there's no gate on this corner yet, which I might look to bring in so we don't have to keep going up to the buildings. But it's only a minor point, I suppose, there. We can see, though. Because, yeah, what we're going to have to look into do now is just a little bit of a 3-point turn. Spin ourselves around, get ourselves in nice and square and straight, and then yeah, we'll just go and get this tipped. That'll be us for the day. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Our hole is gone. The sinkhole that causes so many problems has been filled in. I don't think I've done too bad a job there, to be honest. We'll have to see a little bit spongy around the edge here when we were filling it up, so we try to compact the stone in as best as we can, and yeah, we'll see where that goes, and hopefully we don't have to deal with anything like that again. But yeah, onwards we go. Nice to get that one ticked off the list there. We've had a bit of a change of strategy for today, which is going to see us break out the mowers actually and tackle some ground around the farm. We're going to get a little bit of help from an old boy from a neighboring village too, so that should be rather exciting. I think he's brought his machine over to ours already, but yeah, that should be a little bit different to see. We're going to get started with a bit more mowing there, probably put it into wrapped silage to begin with, I would imagine, and then we'll see where that all goes and develops from here. Yeah, like I say, next things we need to do on this land over here is actually just to get the sword lifter in for a little bit, and also get some get something on the ground, be that a bit of muck or some slurry there, because we are looking well, we're desperate in need of something just to really encourage a good strong second cut here. So that's going to be the plan for this block, but we're not going to be over here too much today. We are going to just head straight back on over. Let me see where that fence is so we don't rip out any more fence posts, and focus around the yard there, to be honest. We've got a milk delivery coming up as well. We need to get rid of that at some point. I don't think that's going to be anytime soon today, but it's due this afternoon, I think. So we'll see, and well, we just need to get that moving along, get a little bit more revenue coming back on into the farm accounts again. It's always welcome. A lot of what we have right now is tied up, and there's a lot of possible revenue there in terms of things like the hay that we're requiring here that we're going to sell, the extra fodder, but also the beef stock, the pigs, You know, that's all good. It's all revenue that we have, but we're not going to see a return on that for a little bit of time. You know, we're not going to be selling any of the beef stock for a good few months yet, and the pigs for sure are going to be hanging around for that a little bit longer. So for some of those things that we need to wait, we do need to then see some other revenue sources coming through. Our grain, obviously, when we come to sell that one as well, that's probably going to be, we'll be taking that straight away to stores. But when that will be sold, I don't quite know yet, but we will see. But yeah, ultimately we're looking pretty good. We're looking like we're making some good progress here for now, at least. We'll just have to see how that goes and see how we continue. I hope everything is going well with yourself. Do let us know down below what you're getting on with and what you're working with there today. Like I said, we've got plenty to keep ourselves going, and I really want to focus on, I was having a bit of a walk this morning with the dogs through the field here, and yeah, it doesn't look like a tall crop, but these two fields here are in really good state. Now, you may remember once we lifted silage off these as a first cut there, we did actually put a good second or good application of slurry onto both these fields. So, and that has really paid off dividends. So you'll be able to see that when we go for a bit of a walk through and see that it just looks like a really good, strong crop, which is, well, frankly, pretty much ideal. Pop you down there. Like so. Fantastic stuff. And so, yeah, what I mean by this, well, we'll have a look over in that yard in just a moment here, but this is when you're walking through here, it's a short crop, but my god, is it dense. It's really thick, and I don't know what's caused it to be quite so short. Perhaps it's that we just didn't get the amount of rain that we needed, but it's a good thick crop, so I am very tempted just to run through here and get some more muck or slurry onto here. And the same could be said really for this field over here, which is the reseeded field. Now, we haven't cut anything off this yet, but I am tempted to have a go with this and turn this into small bale hay. I think that'll be a great starting point for this field, just to get a cut there, and really heavy doses of slurry on here. It hasn't had anything since it was reseeded either, so this field that'll be a great opportunity to inject some nutrients back into the ground. So we might well do that. The pig field, well, that's just what it is. We leave that. We don't touch it. It's doing fine. Pigs are putting nourishment back into the ground and turning everything over there as they go. And yeah, you know, I'm quietly optimistic about this. So we'll see what we can do in terms of getting the mowers out. I've put the mower onto the 5470 already. So we should be able to get something going there. But yeah, I do think what we'll likely do here, just from a fodder standpoint, is put this field into more silage again. And just really cover ourselves here, because we are gradually upgrading and increasing the stock level of our cattle. More silage bales over here, and then the rest will probably go into hay. This field's small bale hay. That one over there, we've got the meadow behind us over there as well. So that would be an option. But yeah, what we're going to do right now is just come through here. Have a quick walk through as well. Beef cattle, like I say, these are a while away. They're putting on the weight. They're finishing off nicely, actually, but there's still going to be a little bit of time away there, which is absolutely fine. We'll just keep feeding them up with a good ration right now, which is providing them with a lot of calories and a lot of good protein there for finishing as well. And this field had the slurry put on through the dribble bar, if you may recall. Not quite as close as over there, but it's coming along. It's coming along. Give that another couple of weeks, and we'll see what it looks like then. But yeah, that's what we're thinking, at least for now. And then everything else should be pretty good. We do need to get some more brewer's grain in here just to keep us going for the finishing. We need to order that and get that in soon, because that does affect our rationing quite a bit when we don't have that. And you do see a different output from the dairy cattle specifically. But today I wanted to show you what's around the corner here. You may have just saw a glimpse of it already, but look at this old beast. There is an old boy in the neighboring village who restores old tractors, and this is his pride and joy, really. And he likes to come and use it and put it to work once a year somewhere doing something quite light. So I always give him an offer, and he's brought his own little hay bob along as well, and he's actually going to ted out one of these fields for us when we get it knocked down. But he brought this over the other morning. Just look at it. It's an absolute delight. It's a John Deere 710, as you can see here. I don't know how old this is, but it's got to be a fair age, and it's just looking in absolutely fantastic showroom condition here, really. He's done a fantastic job of restoring every single square inch of this, so really impressive. And it's going to take over and just run a small little hay bob for You know, I think we're looking at about 6-7 acres. Won't take long to do, and yeah, he's gonna be quite happy doing it, I would no doubt say. It's about 50 horse, big enough, heavy enough, so hay Bob's not gonna bother it at all there. But yeah, look at that, we're really bringing out the big guns today, so look forward to seeing that in action whenever that may be. Hopefully sooner rather than later we'll get to have a look at that in the field. I'm not going to drive it. You know, I don't want to drive his pride and joy around. We might have to shunt it if we need to, forward or backwards, just kind of into that shed. But yeah, that is going to be the plan. That's what we're going to be looking to use, and I can't wait to see how it goes. I really can't. What I think we'll also do is get ourselves ready with the sword lifter for that bit of ground over in the block we just came from. So let's do that now. We'll just drop this off here. That's fantastic. No, okay. So what we might look to do is, well, we'll have to get the baler plugged back onto the Massey at some point soon and get that all ready to go. So there's a lot of work that we're going to have to just kind of tick along with here, really. Make sure everything gets done in a timely manner. There you go. But yeah, like I say, we've got just a little bit of ground with the sword lifter. We'll try and get this mowing done this morning there and get out with the sword lifter this afternoon. I just really, where we've been coming in and out of those grass fields and putting a lot of traction or compaction down on those fields, I really want to resolve that, make sure we're looking a little bit better there. So but yeah, we've used this a couple of times on the ground around here. It's a handy little machine. It really does allow you to pass through, lift up any of that compaction, minimal disturbance as well, which is ideal. It's really what you want to see, because if you have a real, like a true subsoiler, really, it's gonna put quite a bit of damage onto that ground. So this will give us the opportunity just to improve that drainage really on that area, allow the air into the ground as well, and allow that stronger growth. And when we do get to put a bit of slurry down, then we know we'll be able to penetrate through that a little bit more efficiently and faster. We don't want it to run off the surface. So anyway, what we'll do is stick this over in the main yard for now. This tractor's probably going to want a drip of diesel in it. And we'll just stick this about here for now. It'll do. And let's go and get ourselves on our way. So 5470 is all set up. And we'll probably just start with this little field here. Actually, the newly seeded grass field at least. Get this opened. This is all part of the plan that we've taken a good little time to get into position here with, in terms of, you know, transforming the ground around the farm here, making sure that we can get some fields into a better quality. The field that we're going into was sword lifted, then it was reseeded without via direct drill, really. So we didn't really need to cause too much disruption. There you go. And hopefully that's going to pay off there. It's a cheaper form of establishment. We didn't have to bring any plows in or anything like that and cause too much disruption to the field there. Of course, those costs of doing such a form of establishment these days are only going one way, and sadly it's become more and more expensive. So if we can avoid to do that, then, you know, I think it's absolutely great that we'll do it. So that's the plan. Now, let's get this mower fired up. Alright, we're down. And we're away. Look at that. Perfect stuff. A bit bumpy around this edge here. We might not go too much closer, actually, but for it's not coming through too badly at all, it would seem. Yeah, actually, the more you look at that field over there, it's looking in a good state as well. So we might well get us onto that one soon enough as well. So plenty of ground for us to go out there. There's a lot of repetition this time of year for us here. Mowing hay, tedding hay, baling hay, that kind of thing. But you know, it's part of the seasonal charm of being a farmer, I suppose. Look how well those cattle are looking in there. I think they're absolutely fantastic. Got a few quotes in for the road, which means that we're pretty much in place to start on making our road now, actually. So Gonna have to get a little bit of topsoil shifted around, and I also want to think about where we can stick a new need a muck bin somewhere for the bottom 2 yards, because we are putting a bit more straw into that. So there'll be something else I have to look into, see where we can do that. You'll see that we've got quite a bit of box muck up at the top end here already. So again, something that we'll have to maybe look at and see what we can do to improve that situation. We're looking to try and get a contractor in sooner rather than later to help with the muck that we have here. We'll have to see. You know, all these things come with time. And we'll figure out an option there for us at some stage, I hope. Alright, and that's the last 2 headlands in, nice and easily. We'll probably just go to the top to square off that 3rd one. I do love mowing though. I love it when you get into the swing of it. A good crop knockdown there, very satisfying work as well. Don't do much ploughing over here, but I imagine it's very akin to that for a satisfaction. Alright, but yeah, perfect. Let me know what you're working on as well. Love to know. Also love to hear any comments or feedback that you have around the next steps that we can take, or you know, what you'd like to see a bit more of. Always interested to know that. Alright, so 4th time around the field here, we're starting to see well, we're really dug into it now, and it's not, like I said, not looking too bad at all. Fair bit of grass on the deck, considering how short it is, really. This is the field we're going to turn into hay anyway, so we'll probably just put this straight into the barn over there. Not sure if we'll put it into round bales or not, but we'll see. I have half a mind for everything else that we've got to bales, to stick it into round bales, and then if we need to make more square bales later on, we can do that. That's not a problem. And it's practice that I've done before occasionally as well there, so it might just be easier to get it cleared off the field as rounds. And then, you know, we'll take it from there. So certainly something I'm thinking about, and we will see how we get on. But for right now, we just stop out here. And yeah, it's not looking too bad. We'll get this all knocked out. This is the field that the old man's going to come and throw around for us with his lovely looking machine. And then, yeah, we should be in a little bit better place to get a bit more work done this in the next week or 2, really. So this is pretty much us for now. We'll keep on grinding, keep on mowing, and see where we end up. Until next time, though, I do hope you have enjoyed. If you haven't, you've yet to do so, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more. My name has been David. This has been the latest episode of the Tenant Farmer. And if you have enjoyed this, check out Simulation for the Nation, subscribe to see more, and we'll see you all in the next one. Catch you later. Well, hello everybody, welcome back along to another episode of the Tenant Farmer. Today, we'll have a look over some of the progress we've made in the last few days. We were able to get this field baled and the far field done as well, so we're going well, to be honest. This is in round bales to help replenish our stock over in the cattle sheds, and the square bales in the far ground there, and the silage. The silage we're keeping, but the square bales are to be put over into the far storage, and that is going to be for selling at some point there. So we've got one more field around here to cut, and then the meadow field behind these trees. But for now, we're going to leave those be. And yeah, they were only just baled up yesterday, the hay. So we're going to leave it outside. Obviously, the rat bales, they will be fine for a while, but we can leave the hay out here just to sweat a little bit and to dry out completely and lose a bit of temperature from the middle. There was a little bit of rain on one of the days there, unfortunately, so we did, it wasn't ideal when it was baled, but it was better than it could have been. Forecast is overcast, but not going to rain for a while, so a little bit of a breeze. They'll be fine out where they are for now. What we may well do some point later on today, if we have the time to, is actually just stack those square bales up to the 2 or 3 high. But for right now, we're not going to touch them. What we are going to do is head on back over to the buildings, and today is a great day. A day I'm always really excited about. Today is the day that we bring the combine out of the shed. Now why are we going to do this? Because we want to just get it starting up, firing over, ticking through, and hooked onto the header for the first time, just to make sure everything is looking good, because we're only about probably 3.5, 4 weeks away from needing it. And I want to make sure that over the winter storage there, that the magical pixies haven't done anything and caused any issues there. It should be all good there. We did give it a bit of a service off. We need to tighten some belts back up as they were slacking off over the winter. And then, yeah, we should be good. So first thing I'm going to do is to slowly drive our header trailer out of here. And then we're going to put this out into the main yard there. And then we're going to bring the combine into this little space here actually as it goes. And that should give us plenty of space in which to work. Actually make sure that he doesn't ding that off the side. And yeah, we'll hook the header onto the combine where it is, and that should be good, and plenty for us to be able just to get it running through there. Like I say, it was put away without any issues. You know, we few small little filters and things that we needed to look into changing, but that's all been taken care of over the winter. So now, yeah, it's just good to make sure that we are looking good here when we're fired over, so that when we do come to need it, when the pressure's on, we don't suddenly need to have a new combine or a new fitter come out to have a look at the combine more accurately. Later on today we are going to go out with the flat lifter. We're going to get a start at least now that we've got everything else done, and we'll get some ground, and that we're not going to be coming over with any muck anytime soon. The muck midden over there that you can just see, that is going to get emptied later on in the week, maybe next week, into the fields that have bales in here. So we do need to get on that at some point and get those bales cleared. Contractors coming in to help us spread that one, because frankly it's just gonna be a little bit quicker, and it'll give me a little bit more time to get everything done, which is perfect. But for now, we jump on into the old girl and see how she wants to start. I mean, this is, I guess, a cold start. It's obviously warm outside, but it hasn't been started for a while. I do start it once or twice over the winter just to make sure it ticks over. But anyway, here we go. On the button, listen to it. What an absolute treat this thing is sometimes. It's superb. Alright, so we'll let it tick over for a wee while. We need to come in. There's a few cracks in the wall where the tree branches start to come through, which is less than ideal. Need to get on top of that. But otherwise, yeah, it's not looking too bad. And I think we can just make sure we slowly... Alright, I think... Let's just take our time. I'm gonna put a little bit of lock on here to get out the back there. There's my gate. Always much easier if you've got someone to watch you, which we haven't, so we'll just have to hope that we're going well. We're sounding good behind us there as well. They're in great form at the moment. Hey, look at this. Not my first time. We are straight out. It does just fit under there, though, so that's quite handy. I know, alright. Forward we go. So, we've had this combine across the farm there since, since as long as I can remember. They're from new, I do believe. My father's used it before me, and it's just been a great addition. It really, really has. And it's, you know, it means really that we can just tackle our little acreage that we have when it comes to our arable land. It's not a huge amount there. It'll always fluctuate around the 100, maximum 150 acres mark, but hasn't been that large for a while. But you know, with all the new land that we do have around here, it's always good to have that capability, you know, to do it yourself. Contractors typically, while they will come and help you out there, you know, there's always going to be bigger jobs that they want to get done first, and there's always, you know, larger farmers who need help. So you'll always find yourself towards the bottom of the list when you've only got, you know, 15-20 acres of a certain crop to cut at any time. So that's certainly something that we can control our own destiny with this, and it's great. And I do really like getting out and about and doing it. Like I say, we don't do too much, but it's yeah, it is rather good. Now what I might do is just creep forward. And then we'll square ourselves up a bit better there. Alright then. But there she is, looking just fine in the sunshine here. What a treat, huh? What an absolute treat to get this thing out. Once this, I'm not sure if this will even go back in the shed, to be honest with you. Got a bit of a shuffle around of things to do, but we'll see how we get on. Main aim and priority for now is to get us all hooked up. It's also nice to think that we don't really have to worry about depreciation, financing, repayments, or anything like that, because this would not be a new combine of even this size. Would probably be a cost of a house, really, and don't really want to have to think about doing that. Alright, so we will just take our time, slowly edge this up here, and we'll get all hooked on up, and we will be good to go. Nice and easy does it. Make sure we don't hit off the wall. Should be plenty narrow enough to get through here. I think it's about 25 or ish foot gap, maybe not quite, but certainly wider than our header here is anyway. So now what we'll do, we've got everything on. We're gonna fire it all up there, take it away. Let's see how it cracks on, and then we just want to make sure it's run through. We want to be quite careful when we first do so to make sure there's nothing rattles or sounds like it's getting jammed or loose or anything like that inside. So we'll turn it on, then knock it off quickly, and then yeah, we'll let it run over and see how it gets on. All right, so that sounds good. The combine is awoken. The beast has arisen, and listen to it. Perfect. Now, it's all looking and sounding good. I don't think I'll maybe keep that auger in for now. I know it works, but I just don't want to get too close to that because that would suck. But yeah, all is sounding well and healthy, so I'm happy about that. It's fantastic stuff. And yeah, what we need to do really is a few weeks away before we'll be able to get going with this. But now that it's working, I'm happy. It's sounding all good there. We got everything tightened up on the belts and tensioned up as well. So yeah, all is looking good. So with that checkbox done, we can move on. What we will do, like I say, is just get this drop back off here ready to go. And then I don't know where we're going to put the combine for now. If we just put it back in, we can't really put it in the hay shed for now because, well, we're going to be filling that full of hay again soon. So, but maybe have to just wait a little while on doing that. But yeah, we're not going to be too far away really, which is quite exciting. So we'll probably do a little bit of a shuffle around before we get into the real depths of bringing all of the bales in there as well, because we've got a few things I want to do around that. But my main aim for today was to really was just to make sure that it sounds good when it's working. It's ticking over there nicely, so that is fantastic. We'll just sneak this in beside it as well for now, and then we are off in the new Massey to go and tick a few boxes, make sure we can start to do a bit of groundwork on some of our new hay ground, just to lift off a bit of compaction. Made the decision that this, right now, at least before this cut and the next cut, it's not going to be receiving any muck or slurry on there. So we don't really have to wait, so we can get going with that right away. And I think we will do that, just so we can say that we've got a head start. Because I would like to get a little bit of that lifted whilst it's not too wet at all, and you know, we can get in there. All right, well, good job done for the day. Combine's working. I'm happy, and we'll yeah, we'll come back and see how that's looking. Now, a machine that we haven't really used a great deal of. This is our new flat lifter, really, or sword lifter. We've used this on the small paddock, but we need to start to get it put to use and to improve the quality of some of our ground and the new block of land. So that's exactly what we're going to have a look at. Let's get our beacons on here, and away we go. So we'll drive on over there. We've been over there a few times before, and you well know the way by now, so we will see you when we get there. So we're going to start with the field that had the sinkhole in, and there's a lot, and it's going to be, you can see where the grass hasn't quite grown back as well on the right here, just up next to this fence side of things really. So that's where we're going to start. We just want to make sure we can get that all knocked down and actually get a decent enough run at things, because yeah, it's just the grass is not in a good condition there. A lot of compaction, and it's just not coming through as we want it to. So we'll have to tackle that and see what we can do with it really. So that's the plan. Hopefully run this through here. We might reseed it again if we have to in the autumn there. But for now, we'll just start and see if this makes any difference. Allows the lifts of the ground a bit, takes out some of that compaction, but it doesn't disrupt it too much. It's very much a, as we try and avoid crashing into the pillar, it's very much a minimal disturbance, which is what we want and need here. So we're going to give this a bit of a run, see how we get on. And I think we might just drop it down around about here, but what we can do is fiddle around and get our GPS going as well, because we can definitely use that. Alright, so I think we've got everything set up there. The height should be about right there as well. GPS is set up and we're good to work away. And well, let's see how we get on. GPS is in, and we're off. Perfect. Now, what's great about this is that you don't really see too much of an impact there. Like I said, there's minimal disturbance, and that's what you want really from this. But what it is doing is just lifting through any of that compaction really in the depths of the pan really, and we're just going to take this off as we'll hover down this side. But it's just gonna allow that oxygen to get through there, allow better germination of any seeds that are in there, allow better passage of nutrients through, and also lift out that compaction that prevents water drain through it as well. So this should be good. And you can see a little bit of a difference between where we were and where we are now, but this could be a good step to turn this field around. What we are planning to do, as many of you will know, is keep this and put this straight into organic practices. So obviously that would reduce what we can put in terms of inputs there and limit us quite heavily down to some of the slurry and muck that we produce from our livestock. So right now we are going to focus on putting that onto some of the stuff closest to home, and we'll see. But for now, yeah, we'll crack on with this anyway, and we'll see how it goes. But so far, let's just square this edge up here. So far, it doesn't look all that bad, I would say. Alright, so you can see where my GPS line is and where we started, so I got a little bit of filling in there to do, but otherwise I think it's looking okay. This will get us through, this will save us a little bit here. It is going to be a quick practice anyway, but we are going to start just with this bit where it's visible that the compaction is pretty bad. And I think, like I said, this is probably about 4 acres. This should take us a few hours, but we should be good from there. And then, well, then we'll see. Really, we'll see, and we'll have to calculate how much we are burning on diesel here per acre, and see what that works out to in terms of other inputs that we might want to use as well. So we'll have to bit of an experiment, but it could be in the long run. It could be huge for the farming, for the soil infrastructure, and we'll have to just implement this into perhaps a bit more of an annual practice or a rotation, really. But like I say, we'll see how it goes. A very warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 1st of July, where today on the Tenant Farmer, we have got a new business venture to look into, some trees that have fallen down and need to be taken care of, and I think it's the start of harvest. Well, hello, David here. Hope you're doing very, very well. And today, it is quite an exciting day, actually. It's 1st of July, like I just mentioned, and I think we are going to be getting the combine out in a little while. Certainly we're going to have a look into some fields to see what they look like. But behind me on the back of this trailer is a new business venture. And it's something that has required me to go out and spend some money on some new equipment, 2 new machines, none of which will go into the back of a tractor anytime soon. But it's something that will provide me with a little bit of a different revenue source, hopefully. Will provide me with an opportunity that I haven't had yet, and will amplify an existing arm of my business, which is perfect. However, in front of me, the elephant in the room here is that tree that has fallen over. We've had some pretty strong winds here of late, and that is a victim of said winds and storms. That tree, according to the estate tree team that came out to have a look at it, is dead inside and starting to rot away, as is the one next to it, unfortunately, which is still standing and has to be fallen or has to be felled too. So that's going to be taken care of soon, and we're going to probably try and get some firewood out of it along with some of the other houses in the village here. It's quite sad, really. Those trees have been here for an awful long time, but it is something that we just can't be safe without. So yeah, it's gonna have to go. And the other tree, if it's a strong wind the other way, they could fall the other way and put somebody in harm's way. So absolutely something that we do not want. So I have to get that taken care of. The cattle are doing well. Been fed up here this morning, so they're all well and well cared for. You'll see as I scrabble up this bank here, our silage bales have been all stacked up. The hay is still there. It hasn't had a dodgy looking forecast for a while, so it's all just stacked there ready to be carted away. Other things have got in front of that, but we will get around to that soon, and we must get this fence put back up here again. But otherwise, yeah, the contractor came to put down the muck, so our muck bin over there is now empty, which is fantastic. And yeah, we're looking much better for that too. And the round bale hay is all in the shed here, so that's good. However, the big thing that we all want to look into right now is what's on the back of this here trailer, and this is something I'm quite excited about. Put your guesses in the comments down below what you think this might be for the next 2 minutes here, and I will tell you. But we are selling milk. We've always been selling milk because we have these lovely ladies here and many more like them. But yeah, we sell milk mainly in bulk through to our various different suppliers and distributors, and it goes into the food chain from there. However, these two boxes are going to give us a different approach to this. They are vending machines for raw milk. One of them is just a straight up raw milk vending machine, and the other one, the slightly bigger one here, is a milkshake machine. So quite literally now, my milkshake will be bringing all of the boys and girls to the yard, so that's going to be quite exciting. So we'll have to see what that looks like. We have a site where these are going to go. They're not on the farm here. They're at a distant location, and we're going to get those installed as soon as we can. It's probably about a 5-minute drive away from here. They'll be getting filled up every morning, and if it's successful, it could really see a different arm to our business here and allow us to get a lot more opportunities coming through, which is really, really good. Now, they are going to go and get set up in the next day or two. So for right now, I've got the opportunity where I think I can just sneak this trailer into the corner. We'll drop it off, then we'll be golden. So we'll get this done, and then we're going to go and have a bit of a drive and see how our fields are looking. I am of the opinion that we're probably only a couple of days away at the very most from being able to get a start on some harvest. And I want to go and check this out for myself and just see. Combine's ready to go, and the weather is looking good. We haven't got any more grass work to do, so I say why not go after it. All right, that's all done there. So yeah, we're gonna do that. We're just gonna go for a quick drive and see what's ready to go. We have a few different fields that I have in mind, and so yeah, now is the time to go have a bit of a peek. And if we can get this going now, whilst the workload elsewhere is minimal as we wait for things like grass to grow, then I think that makes the most sense all around. So what we'll do is have a bit of a beetle on over there and have a quick peek, see what looks right and see what looks right. And then the combine might come out after that. Oh, hello, sir. Coming for the milkshake already, I see. Fantastic. And we'll get ourselves set up there. So yeah, it is actually the second tree over there. Let's just knock ourselves backwards a bit here. So that one came down there, when would it be? No, 3 days ago, I think. And we had to wait for the tree to come and start setting. And so this one here is actually pretty dead inside as well. And it's a wonder that one didn't fall over too. So we're gonna, whilst we're here chopping up one tree, we're just gonna have that one professionally felled as well, so we can actually chop that up and everyone stays nice and safe. So unfortunately that will be the next step. Something I didn't really want to do, but it's out of our hands there really, so we'll have to just make sure we do that safely. Again, it's not an immediate rush. The tree team from the estate are going to take care of the felling there, and then whatever's viable, I think they're going to chop up into firewood, and everything else will get mulched, I do believe. So we'll see what that looks like. Likely though, the rest of my days coming up there are all going to be around harvest for now. The oilseed rape is not quite ready there. That was later drilled, so that's not a surprise. Two fields I'm thinking of. I've got barley, and there's also a field of spring oats up here that have really shot on of late, actually. So there's all of our bills of silage. That field there, grass is probably not far away from a good second cut. However, it's these two here. This one on our right here, and then the field over there. And I think, in all actuality, if the barley's ready to go, I think that's where we're going to start. But we'll have a peek in through here anyway, and just see really. But that's where I think we're going to be looking in. And then if we can get this all harvested soon, then that might have to get the contractor back again and stick some more muck out there. Came in with a big button spreader and a JCB, and it took him no time at all. I even offered to do the loading, but they wanted to come and demo a new loader or something. So, but this is looking pretty good, let me tell you. Rather a good looking crop here, I must say. And yeah, I think it's looking pretty good. We're going to run a moisture meter through this and test it all. Now, all of our, we don't really grow our cereal crops. I've mentioned this time and time before. We don't really grow this for, you know, to find the premium prices. We do it because we need straw primarily. And it's a good and important asset for our livestock business and our dairy herd. Now, of course, we will sell the grain. It will go into animal feed. Our costs will be covered there. In some years, we do make a little bit more. But yeah, it's looking like a promising yield here as a starting point there. So we will definitely see. I'm going to run a bit of this through the moisture meter, and we will see what this looks like. I've come out into almost the middle of the field here, and this is my third reading so far, and we are at 14.5% right here where I stand, and a little bit drier and a little bit wetter as well. So on average there, we're coming in just over 15%, 15.5% there, I think. So it's going to be great for what we need, and we can take this right now. So we're going to do that. It's going to take us a little bit of time to get ourselves all ready to go and everything, but we can do this and we'll get ourselves in. So what I'm probably going to do first and foremost, I think, is get the grain trailer dropped up here, and then drop that off so we don't have to worry about that for a while. Then bring the header trailer up, and then get the combine up here. So that is, well, it's nearly the start of harvest here. Let's see how we get on with this, and then we can get ourselves back into business there. And my word, harvest is about to start. Oats ahead of us there. They'll be ready to go as well, no doubt soon, if not right away. But we've only got one combine. We're going to start in one field. So we're going to start right about here on our left. So let's get back to the yard. There's going to be a lot of driving around. We'll see how soon we can get ourselves going. Change of plan. We're off in the header first because, well, it's blocking everything else in. But I think we should be good to go. I'm going to try and ring the one of the nephews and see if they want to come and do a bit of carting. Just so I'm not going to be too slow here. And what we might do, depending upon how we get on there, is maybe see if there's an option there to get a wagon in just so we can do it one-man job if the nephews aren't available there. But that is always going to be the first port of call. Some free labor on the go there, or cheap labor. Anyway, we'll get ourselves back on over to the field there now and see what that looks like. But yeah, we're just going to take our time with this and see this header trailer. You don't really want to bounce along too much with one of these on the back. And we will see how we get on. Yeah, let me know what you're doing. Let me know if you're cracking on with harvest or not, or how long you think you're going to be until you are in with that. It's always a great time of year, and always something I really love. The start of the first day is always really fun. So we'll see how we get on. From a hay standpoint, we've done everything we can. I knew there'd be a period where we'd have to take a little bit of a sidestep because of other harvest work, really. And we're in that now, and that's fine. And we will, when the time comes there, we will look to get back in with that. Once we get these fields that are already done now, we don't really have a great deal of harvest to do, so we can jump back on whilst we wait and maybe mow a bit more down there. But right now, at least, yeah, we're doing okay. And I think what we'll look to see is hopefully there in maybe 2 weeks' time, have another block of hay ready to bale. We've still got the stuff down in the yard that we need to shift and put under cover somewhere anyway, but we do have a substantial amount. That shed over there is filling up nicely. This ground is coming along. The muck didn't spread that far. We couldn't get over here. We just did the 2 fields that were cut around the yard, so there's a bit of a shortage there. Some of this has had slurry on though, so you know, we're not looking too bad, but we'll see. But yeah, ultimately, next step is always a priority. In this case, is whatever's fit to go. So this is where we'll push on with. I'm going to drop this trailer here. Like I say, we'll go back, put the grain trailer onto the tractor there, and then bring the combine up and we can get started. So we're nearly there, really. What I'm going to do though is figure out where I need to stick this again. You know what might work for this is just on that angle here. And that will do it. No one's going to be coming through here anytime soon. I actually haven't seen many combines going in the area, which is a little bit unheard of. But perhaps someone will be. Today's been some great weather, like I say, really warm and dry. Apart from the day where it was blowing an absolute gale. So yeah, hopefully that might mean someone's going to get going soon, and then they'll be able to catch me up. But for right now, we'll take the country road here. We'll go back on over to the farm, get everything set up there, and we will be on with it. So I'll catch you in a little bit, hopefully in the seat of the combine. And there you go, folks. The beast is in the wild, ready to roll, really. I have one of my nephews coming to drive. He's reliably informed me that he will be there soon. I don't know how long soon is, so we'll have to just take his word for it. But we might as well get going, really. We're not going to get all the way around one headland here. The tank on this combine is not big enough, and even if I downplay my yield to the best of my ability there, I still think there's going to be too much here. So what we can do is just take off a couple of headlands on this side here, and we'll see how we look. And I think that'll be great, and that should be plenty for us to get going with anyway. So without further ado, let's get everything fired up there. Sounding good, looking good. No bangs or sounds or any spanners being left anywhere they shouldn't have been, which I like a lot. And we, ladies and gentlemen, are into harvest 2023. We're away. We're just going to get ourselves in here. We're going to take this first headland off, and we should be handy. All right now. So like I say, we're going to do 2 passes up this side here. Should be more than adequate to get us through. And then we'll be away. What we are going to do once we get ourselves in here as well, let's just kick up the speed ever so slightly there. There you go. We're taking off the headland here. It's worked out the right width that we can actually do this and then have 1 pass left on that side. That way as well, if our tanks get too full, the auger will be facing in over and not into trees or hedgerows or anything like that. Or even in over. So it should be plenty for us here. It is slow going right now. I'm just going to take our time as we work into this and see how we're getting on after that. But yeah, it's a start. We'll ease the old girl into it, I think, really, and see how it goes. But yeah, we're away, and I'm happy to be doing this. What we aim to do, and what I really hope that we can do, is get this all cleared, give the straw a day on the deck there just to dry out a bit more. It's not too green down below there, so it should be fine. In the long run, there shouldn't be a problem at all. But if we can just give it that little bit of extra time for the wind to just blow through it, then we'll get it bailed up there, and then we can get it hauled back as soon as we need to. So that's going to be the goal. You can see there's another field of barley which is still really slow actually over the hedge there. That was drilled a little bit later, and it is showing there actually an awful lot. And the grass silage field just on the other side of this field we're in now is actually looking really luscious and green, so that's fantastic to see. But otherwise, we'll be in here for a while, and we'll see how we get going. But like, yeah, we will just take our time. Just get through this, and we'll take a sample as well when we get to the end there and we get turned around, and we'll see how it's looking. But very, very happy with what I'm seeing here so far. Not hearing any horrible rattles or bangs, which is always a plus. So yeah, we can be somewhat confident moving on into the rest of harvest here. What we will do though is probably leave this here. Coming up soon, we'll hopefully be able to show you what it looks like to get milk from our milkshake machine, which will be bringing boys and girls to the yard, and you'll be able to come and see what that looks like and where it is as well, and why we're doing this, and you know the advantages to us doing this as well. So stay tuned for that one. Until next time though, thank you very much for watching as always. I do hope you have enjoyed. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a slightly different episode of the Tenant Farmer. My name is Simulation for the Nation, and today I am going to walk you through how we turn this disused barn full of junk, clutter, and bales with a horse stable up at the far end into this, the full small-scale dairy farm in the corner of Calmsden Farm. I'm going to show you what we did in Giants Editor, how we do that in Giants Editor, and what we did in-game with the placeable versions to make a map or a farmyard as close to this one as we possibly can. So without any further ado, let's jump on into Giants Editor and show you what we need to do. And so before we jump on into Giants Editor, you'll notice there's quite a few obstacles that we need to move to be able to allow us to have the space to create the map that we need. And some of those are very straightforward, really. You'll see that the hen coop is in the middle here. We've got fences going through the middle as well, fence all the way around the corner here. The in-game stables, that's fairly easy to remove. A quick change of the placeables and we'll have that one shifted. A few trees here and there, a few old water tanks, and that's about the gist of it. And obviously all of this clutter inside. So we're going to get onto all of that. But first, we need to make some adjustments. To do that, you need to be inside Giants Editor. The latest version is now available to download on the Giants Developer Network, 9.0.3. Download that, and we'll see you inside the Editor Suite. So you find us, folks, inside Giants Editor. This is the editing suite for all of Giants maps and also mods. If you are wanting to rebuild or create a new model map, you're going to be looking to use a program called Blender to make the initial models. But for Giants Editor, you can change how things interact. You can add or remove different things from maps. You can change coding and attributes so they behave in a little bit of a different manner. And that's what we're going to be looking into doing today. The first thing that we want to do is change a few little features around the main farm here, because you'll notice that a lot has changed between how I have my map set up here for the farmyard and how Oxygen David set up to begin with. So what we're looking at to really is initially we want to remove all these models in and around here. We're going to remove things like the car. We need to remove this fence down the middle as well. And you can do that by identifying and clicking on the model that you need to begin with. Once you do that, you can identify which one you need and which one you have to delete, but be very careful that you don't inadvertently delete a whole bunch of mods, maps, or attributes, because you can cause quite an issue. You'll see we have this one selected. When you're moving fences around, it's a little bit easier to do, to be honest. That doesn't cause you quite so much of an issue. So we're going to start by just getting rid of that one. And then this guy here, we're going to keep, but we're just going to slide down a little bit. So that will be looking good there. We'll get rid of some of these little bits and pieces as well. Things like these tanks and these trailers, that clears that space up there. The car as well, we don't need that. All of the clutter inside the shed, that is a game feature that you can remove, so we don't need to worry too much about that. I put a gateway in over here. I actually removed this gate here as well, because at the time there was a bit of an issue with how that would behave, but that's okay. Now what's important to notice is that a lot of the construction, a lot of the building inside our game save was actually done inside the game itself, not through Giants Editor. So I wanted to try and be able to do as much as possible there. But what we're going to do is just kind of move a few bits and pieces around here. We'll get that put one side for now. We're going to just take this here gate. Now ideally when you're placing gates, you want to create a new gate number, so you don't just copy the exact gate. So what I'm going to do there, just to make sure that we do keep it there as a unique entity. Let's change that to 7. Now, I'm just going to place this into roughly where we want it to be. Put you down, and then we can just make sure that it all lines up there, which is not quite doing at the moment because we want to line up with that one there. Perfect. Okay, and then I get rid of this. There's that gone. So we don't really need to touch anything with that. What we are going to get rid of is this brilliant texture, because as part of the game series we eventually got rid of this and leveled out this bit of yard. So we're going to do that now. So really that is just a bit of mud there that we can remove. You'll love to see it. Coming around here, we do have our shed. We got 2 sheds that we need to place here. One is going to be here, and then they've got the cattle shed here, and this track maintains itself along there. If we look at the models that we have here, these are all just placeable models, so we can get rid of that one. We're going to get rid of that one as well, which is good. And get rid of that there. we'll be able to place our shed into here. What I also did though was just to be, a lot of the trees here were starting to creep into the building. So what we can do is just scale these down just a little bit, make sure that they don't cause us any too many issues. Just go 3, 3, 3, and then move it away from that fence. These guys here will all be just painted out when we get to it. Moving over to this side, this is where our yard begins, and this is where we need to have a gateway really. So what we'll do is just get rid of this fence here and then move this one back down to there. Now what I've also done, something that we'll look to do is we're going to just pull this around the side of this group of trees here. That's going to just give us a little bit of a fenced off area and allow us just to kind of build that driveway in that we have. That works pretty well, I find. We're not going to change any of the terrain here in the game because that is all something you want to change in the editor in game itself, because if you do it that way, it will save it to the save game. If you do it in this game, in this map, and then make further changes, you start to lose a bit of correlation there, which you don't really want to do. And then I think what I was going to do was just tie this back in to our little wall over here, which we're nearly there at now actually. So what I can do is, rather than placing another one down, we'll just kick the length of this one up a little bit. 1.1 will do it. There you go. Okay, so now you can see we've got the area. This is where we're going to put our second cattle shed. We're going to place a fenceable area down here, which would be good. In recent episodes, we've just started to rebuild out this as well. So what we can do for all of this right now is just remove all of these, just so it clears everything out for us. And then we'll find that means that we've got this area that's ready to go. And again, using placeables, we get everything placed in where we want them. What I did was didn't delete these because I wanted a little bit of character in this area. So we just stacked everything up neatly out the way, including the wheelbarrow as well. All you need to do is get used to the familiarity of how you can edit really, making sure that you're comfortable with the very basics in Giants Editor. I did do a video a while ago on how to do this. However, if you really want to learn the best way to edit within Giants Editor, I strongly advise you check out somebody called Shy Wizard on YouTube. His content is very, very good. Teaches you an awful lot about from the basics all the way up to the more complex mastery really of all things mapping and modding. You can go into the depths of the scripting as well. Oh, let's not do that one. There you go. I want to keep that. He will go into the depths of how you change i3D files as well, which will be something that as you get into it more and more, you'll find is quite important. So yeah, we'll leave the rest of that stuff kind of where it is, to be honest. That's not looking too bad at all. And then let me just check what I do believe we want to do here as well. Is, yeah, that's what we're going to do. We actually want to kick out this fence ever so slightly because this is going to affect the terrain we have. So we're just going to take these ones, slide it out to about there. So we'll get this fence adjusted, and then really we're straight on back into game. Really, we'll show you what this looks like, and then we can start to get to build. So if you want to build the same file up and the same game save up there, these are the mods that you're going to need for the most part. You're going to need the decorative stone walls and the meadow fence pack, the free fences and bushes. You don't necessarily need that one, but I find it's a benefit to have. Easy depth control so you can fly around and see things nice and easily. The animated shed pack as well from Alien Gym is a must, as well as the placeable silos and the self-made cattle shed. With that in mind, let's load on in and see what that looks like. So before you enter, you need to make sure you have a few mods set up for your game save to allow you to place everything. These are all the mods you need. Obviously, there's a few DLCs in here that you don't necessarily need at all. The AGI pack, the Kubota pack, the Antonio Carrera pack, and the Class Zerion aren't necessary in any way, but they're there, so we'll just leave them. Everything else, you will need to be able to build this farm. So let's go. We're going to start off. We're going to have a bit of a look around, show you what... I made a few more changes to Giants Editor just so I could be happy with how everything is set up, which I am now. and then we'll start to build really, and we'll show you what that looks like, see how we can go about that, and take it from there. So we come on in. First thing I always like to do, go into flight mode, get above, and let's go and see. I've cleared out the debris and the clutter from inside of the barns already, and we already did just a little bit of painting. Now for this little bit of yard space here, we just need to edit it really where we can. One thing to be aware of is that you can never really edit around here because of the gateways and the models, so you will need to remove that out. Anywhere where there is a model there, you struggle to sculpt it. So let's just see if that's any better now. Go to a bit of that. We're going to take this. It's allowing us to do a little bit, but there you go. Make it look a little better. There's still a bit of a hole there, so that's why you would get rid of that gate, just to allow you to do that a bit better. But anyway, that's that bit done. Now we'll paint all this when we're ready, once we've got everything placed down, of course. But I've also just realized that we left a hen trough there. I don't think I can remove that in game. I can. There goes the chicken pasture. Lovely old job. So you sell that one off there. First thing we're gonna do is get a shed into here, and the shed that we used was this guy, which had the 2 doors. Now I think I'm gonna place this around here somewhere. Okay, so once we toggle off the free mode, then it allows us to kind of stick this in. I think that's about as square as it can be. The free mode is by using one of the placeable extended mods there. You'll see if I press V, it stops me from placing it, whereas I press V again, we're all good to go. So, shed's in. What we need to do is just make sure that's building up in the right direction. So we'll just go build. We'll soon find out if we did it right or not. Yes, we did. Perfect. And doors. So there's our first shed. The yard now has a bit more shape. Start to recognize a little bit more there, which is great. What we want to do is fill this bin, really. We've got 2 cattle sheds to place. Before we do that, we need to also get rid of this guy up here, which is the equestrian barn. Let's sell that. We don't need that anymore, and it's going to be a nice little area for us to build our second cattle shed. What we're going to do though is just put in a bit of a level ground. Wonderful. Coming to animals. Take this guy. What I like to do is kind of place it in with the back wall there, making sure it's relatively straight and parallel. Maybe stick it about there. We'll see how that looks. Alright, cool. So, got one. Use the same one for down here. Obviously, we have to just see how we can place this in. Looks like, I would say, we're going to need to do a bit more extension, which is fine. Alright, well. Now, a few things we need to do. We need to get rid of a few trees here, so we can we'll move those over, so it'll allow us to figure out all this mess here. That's fine, we can totally do that. It's not going to take too much time at all. Just have to jump back into GE to make sure that looks good. But as you can see, things are starting to take shape now. What we'll probably do actually is just slide this forward a touch. We're going to just remove that. So as you can see, it's not quite exactly the same, but the yard is starting to shape up together. What we're going to do, just to get rid of a little bit of the debris around here, is use a little bit of this one here. Get rid of a little bit of all this debris. Now, we're going to have this all tied up there. We're going to, in our current Let's Play series, we're starting to slowly make some nice additions and changes to the yard here. So it won't take too long for us to get this all figured out. We do have 2 silos around about here, actually. So we'll get those added back on in now. We're going to go into buildings. We'll go into silos. And we have one for fertilizer. Think about there. One for herbicide as well, which actually goes very similarly right here. Now the big thing that's going to change is how this all looks really in relation to us having the the walls and the fences around here, which kind of really gives it a bit extra character. So we're going to start to add those back on in. That looks perhaps about right. We do need to figure out this fence here. That's going to go. That'll be fine. I'm going to get rid of that. What actually happens is that these trees will go, we'll reduce down all this, and then there's a wall that comes along the side there. So we'll get that all added in when we need to. But yeah, that's starting to look a lot better. And let's get everything built out here. So first thing I like to do is stick in a little bit of a road. Again, come down into landscaping here. Let's go to painting. Let's just get our gravel. Now, our road in question was kind of starting about there. Okay. And then we do two things with our tracks. We have a forest track that goes through here to our fields. And then we also have, it kind of splits off up here. So for the purpose of this, we're just going to use the same gravel just so we can see the changes that we're making. Because we're going to bring this one down into here. Make sure this is all teed in nicely. But this area here, this needs some work. We plant some trees along here. We're going to put a fence up here as well. So this is where we can really get going. Now, first thing you want to make sure is that you're going to have your road along here. So let's mark out the area that we need, really. So that can then come down. I can join in. That's obviously a very crude vision, but that's, again, we're just getting everything ready here, really. And this can be a nice little patch of grass around here. I'll be fine. Over here, we use all this area. We're going to have a place for muck heap in there and then store some silage bales along here. So this fence line really just goes all the way along to there. And then we can do a bit of this. Perfect. And then from about here, we're actually going to have a bit of a gate, which is going to come around to the side. The road is going to come all the way down here to here. Now we come into decoration. We want to find all the walls from that mod pack that we were using. So in this particular version, I do believe that we are using this wall here. So let's just maybe start that about there. So where we're going to bring in our gate. And slope that around so it's a bit softer, really. So now that you've got that first wall in, you can see it starts to give the whole place a little bit more shape. This can all be painted up and smartened up when we're finished. Of course, we're not quite there yet. But we want to add another gate in. We have placeable gates here, which make it always nice and easy. But you want to make sure that we have the gate opening the right way. So what we're going to do is place the gate up there. About there. That's wonderful. And that way we can get our next bit of wall teed in very nicely. So that's going to go down to about there. I want to make it a little bit wider just so it can bend around that a little bit easier, really. And then we're going to place it up to there like so. Now, what I like to do at this point as well is just start to really decorate this out. Fill it out with all the some trees and bushes and things like that, just to make it feel a little bit more like organic, really, which is always something you can do nice and easily. Of course, you can do this to your own tastes and desires whenever you're ready to, but yeah, that looks a little bit better. We're going to back into painting here. Just tidy up this little bit around here. Wonderful. That bit there I'm not too fussed about. We can kind of leave that About like that. Of course, all this bit here will be just transformed over, really paint over all that, make sure that's going to be nice and level for us to add in our next step. We're on another gate though over here. What I want to make sure is that we have it start about there. And there you go. Fence is back on. Gates in. Roughly, it's not ideal again, but this is just an exercise of showing you how to do things, really. And then we're looking good. So now everything's starting to come together a little bit there. What I want to see if I can do as well is just get a little bit of a fence line going from there to there. Proving a little bit tricky. So what we're going to do next, as you can see, we've pretty much got the farm in place, really. It does certainly look recognizable to what you would see in any of the game save updates. However, a few things that you want to add into here would be a placeable silo in there. Let's have a look, see what we've got. Haven't got any of the small ones available here right now, but you could quite as easily just stick something like this in. Just put that there, for example. That'll do. And then you got your options to stack all your bales in the corner there as well. Furthermore, we're just going to do a little bit of a tweak in Giant Editor to remove those trees and to push that back and put that wall in a little bit. And then that is as good as done as well. Once we're back into the map file again, this bit of fence we know is not necessary, so we can remove that one out. We can also look to just scale this one down. This is a bit too long, so we're going to come down on into the scale on the side. We can look at the scale Z value there. Let's go 0.5. That's not quite enough. 0.6. No, it's too much, so let's just go 0.55. That should allow us to connect it to this one, 1.2. No, 1.1. That's just about it. There you go, perfect. And of course, that can just be arrowed down a little bit there, so it looks like it butts up nicely, which is good. And then trees, we're just going to move those back ever so slightly onto the other side of the fence, because they are right where we need to be, and they're prohibiting us from finishing this off as we'd like. And that should be all the changes that we need to make there. What we'll do now, though, is just make sure I have a scout around. There's nothing else that we need to do, nothing else that needs to be pulled out, which I don't really think there is. We're going to come out, we're going to save it one more time. Take a last quick jump in there to see, and then that should be us pretty much done. Like I say, it's not going to be exactly mirror image of the game save there, but it gives you the best idea of what that looks like. So as the game loads up there, let's get ourselves in. Okay, so we're going to go back on in. We're going to find that same game save. There it is. Everything that we need is ticked, and in we go. So you can already see it looks a lot better, in my opinion at least. And what we just need to do is the final few little tweaks and adjustments there to make sure it's all bob on. What I haven't done in this stage so far is remove all of the equestrian equipment. You can do that as well and just get rid of it. I've actually turned that into another little grass paddock. Of course, we just don't really need to do that at the moment. But what we do need to do, and what we're going to have a play with right now, is just to see how easy we can level off the rest of this ground here. So we know we want to be at that kind of level there. So that's not going to do it without us getting rid of the shed, which is fine. And now, just pull all of this down into what we know is to be our level. Much better. Get this to behave in the manner that we want. So let's maybe put you down to there. Okay, so we can probably build around that. Let's give that a go. Just put that one up right up there. That works. I'll take it. All right, so now bit of painting. Let's put a bit more concrete down around here. We just need one more wall into here as well, but then we're about set. And we need to even come all the way down. So what we can look to do is we haven't got much of a stackyard here. What we did is actually move that fence across that little bit more. But yeah, ultimately this will give you your stackyard area there as well. What we'll do though is just stick this about here if it will let us. But yeah, ultimately I think that's a pretty good example of what you can do and how you can get this farm to take the shape that you want it to, really. This is quite the transformation from what we just started with. Like I say, it's not 100% dialed in there, but neither was the Tenant Farmer when I first started. It did take a little bit of time to piece it all together and make it look exactly like we should do. But I do hope this gives you a little bit of a helping hand to make your own version of that map. If you have any questions, do leave them down below. We'll be back with a regular episode of the Tenant Farmer next week, so stay tuned for that one. Until then, I hope you have enjoyed. I've been SFTN. We'll see you all in the next one. Catch you later.